Sunday, July 30th, the Dome Foamers podcast is back. I'm your host, Christian Kruger, and as always, I'm with Neil Mieski and Brian Dorton. We're just lifelong Astros fans. We love to talk about the Astros. So, boys, let's go. All right, before we get started, episode 14. Our title sponsor is Two Gringos Chupacabra Rub and Seasonal. Two Gringos makes the finest rub, salsa, chips, jerky, and marinade you've ever tasted. If you haven't tried their products, please do it today because you don't know what you're missing. The main thing you need to know about Two Gringos Chupacabra products is that they are so good because they use only the finest ingredients that you never ever take shortcuts when it comes to quality. This is why we're proud to have Two Gringos Chupacabra as our title sponsor. You can find them in your local grocery stores in your area and on their website at twogringoschupacabra.com. That is the number 2, gringoschupacabra.com. And I know the three of us are all big fans, so thank you to them for being our title sponsor. Here we are, boys, episode 14.
Righty.
Episode 14, trade deadline, less than 48 hours away. We are going to dive into that. Let's talk first. Season record, 59-47. 3-3 week. Womp womp.
Who called that? Unfortunately,
nobody.
Jerk.
This.
I thought you said.
Jerk,
I thought you said 4-2.
This jerk said 3-3.
Okay. All right. Let's give him proper credit. Dorton decided to go 500 and was right.
Hey.
Man, the week started off great. We're going 2-0 against the Rangers.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And D called the exact order. He said we win 2 or 3 from the Rangers and
lose the series.
Called
Okay, well then,
boy, did we.
Then he obviously is correct and gets the props for the week. He better have something more positive than 3-3 for this week. But we'll get into that. The team up north that just got swept by the Padres. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So we stay what? No, we only stay 1 game back. I said 2
games
back.
Yeah, we're 1.
That's amazing. Thank you so much to the team up north keeping us in this thing. I love it so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in. As we stated, we won the first 2 games against the team up north. Lost the 3rd game. Had a day off. Lost game 1 to the Rays. Destroyed them game 2, and then laid an egg today. Was what we tend to do a lot of times on Sundays, it seems. So Neil, you're my timber check guy I go to first. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of where I was last Sunday in the fact of I'm just waiting. I'm
how long are you going to wait for?
Till Tuesday. I'm waiting till Tuesday. I want to know what team we've got. I mean, what are we playing with?
Yeah.
And if this is the team, I mean, if we're going to say all right, this is it. Graveman was it. Everything else was out of our reach. Not feeling good. Not feeling like this is a team that's going to be playing into very long into the postseason if we make the postseason. If we pull some triggers and make a couple of moves and specifically a starting pitcher, I could feel really good. I could feel really confident about my 95 game win prediction from the All-Star break. But so right now, I mean, the fact that we went 3-3 again, it's, as my kids say, very mid, right? I mean, nothing high, nothing low.
Wow.
Yeah, I dropped that. I dropped the mid on you.
Super young.
Yes. So I'm just I
hope we get a different Mieski next week after the trade deadline, one way or the other.
I'm tired.
So we've done 14 episodes and he's still waiting. So
No,
he can't
no.
wait. He can't wait after less
Not
than
true.
48 hours away.
Not true, because I've gone as far as we're not making the playoffs and then we're winning 95 games. So I'm on both sides of it. And
yeah, you have flip-flopped pretty hard.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm no different than the Astros.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what is there? I mean, okay, you win 2 out of 3 to the Rangers, and you lose 1 out of 3 for the Tampa Bay. I mean, so we're 3-3. We're average. We're 500. That's where I am. We're okay now. Big picture, very thankful that we're 1 game out of first place, but it's not necessarily because of anything we're doing. You know,
Now that
we're floating
100%,
along.
I agree. Yep, I agree with that.
So get me to Tuesday, and I'll be extremely more opinionated in what direction we're that I feel that we're headed towards. I mean, you can't just feel great about our starting pitching. I don't think there's any debate about that. You can't feel great about lineup construction. So that's kind of where I am. I need to get to Tuesday to figure out some things. I know lineup construction probably is not going to change. We've beat that up pretty good, and probably will revisit that again today. But
we are.
I mean, we got Cleveland coming up, Cleveland and the Yankees, and what team is going to play those guys is going to be. I mean, it's going to. Every game counts from here on out. I mean, they all do. They all have, but we're the margin for error is getting less and less, and so I'm anxious to see where we go. So that temperature wise, I'm just hanging in there, waiting to see Tuesday what team is going to be the team that we have going forward.
All right, Dorton.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on where your temperature's at.
I think the biggest thing is I'm actually really curious to hear both of your opinions on big names that have been tossed out there that would help our staff. Obviously, starting pitchers. I know that there've been a couple of names, a couple of really big names out there. Just want to hear you guys have your finger on the pulse a lot more than I do. Your thoughts on, are we going to get somebody that is going to come in here and change this tide, and that might be, I don't know, a little bit better than an average BLAC, or are we just going to kind of coast along and we'll be done in end of September, early October? You know,
Yep.
I think that's going to be the whole thing of it. Yeah, we've got Guardians and Yankees this week. It'd sure be nice around Wednesday to have someone who can go blow the doors off the Yankees on Thursday that they weren't really expecting. So
we're going to get into that.
That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Let's touch on the week first. Concerns. Altuve and Jordan are back, and we're 1-3.
Yeah.
With those, I would have lost a lot of money trying to bet on that. I wouldn't have said that was going to happen. Now, it's really not. I mean, Jordan's had a bullpen. I mean, a position pitcher home run. He's gotten a couple of hits. Altuve had a good day today. I mean, they're finding their groove. But if you would have told me that putting those two guys back in the lineup and we'd be 1-3 in the first 4, I'd been like, you're crazy. So then you ask yourself, then why is that? Well, of those 4 games, we've scored 5 runs or more in one of those 4. Now, small sample size, right? But I don't understand why Team X, whoever that team is, will pitch some spare and they shut us down. Now, we've been around the game a long time following the Astros. I think we already said yesterday on a group text, can we stop our run scoring at 10 and save some for tomorrow? But then they put in they put in Chuck Golf, and then we just went to town. So, you know, I don't really think. I mean, they did. They put in a position player, and they just teed off on him. But how do you score 17 and basically have 7 of the 9 players back in the lineup and score 2 on a spare? I know it's baseball, right? But it just happens so much to this team. Look, I think the Altuve and Jordan thing is going to correct itself, no doubt.
Absolutely.
But it would be nice if we would actually have a batting lineup that would put our players in a position to succeed and have our best players on the field at all times. So
are
we'll
you
get into that
ready
here in a
to
minute.
talk about? Okay, I was going to say, are you ready to
No, go
talk
ahead.
about Jordan batting 5th yet?
I can't stand
You're
it.
good with your. I mean,
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And
get that on the table
look,
now.
Yeah, like that's like, you know, what was out there that he went to Kyle Tucker and Dusty and said, you know what? If he did, which I believe nothing that comes out of the Astros, 0. But let's just assume that did happen. That was probably for one game to get his feet under himself, see some real live major league pitching. The guy's proven that he doesn't need a ton of time to reset himself. He gets hurt and comes back immediately and is Jordan. Do I think Tucker should be 5th currently? No, I don't. So I'm not even saying that. But I mean, and I know, dude, I mean, I can name people I'm not going to name on this podcast, but every time Jerry Pena gets a hit, oh, he should be hitting number 2. No, he shouldn't. He should not. I can name 4 people that I'd rather have hit number 2 than him. I bet y'all 2 can name them too. So who wants to go first?
Well, I will say this
So
before we start naming names. Like he is batting his highest average at 2.
Which I think, yeah, that's a there's data out there that says that, correct?
Yeah.
I get it. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is we have 4 players on this lineup that I would bat at number 2 before him. So it's not necessarily that he does better. We have better hitters and players who get on base a whole lot more, who slug the baseball a whole lot more, that should be hitting 2 in front of him. So does anyone want to have this easy guess of who the 4 are?
So, okay. So obviously you could say McCormick.
Ding,
I'm
ding.
not against
Apollo Creed.
I'm not against Tucker batting 2.
Me either.
Well, I mean, Jordan.
Obviously,
Jordan second.
That's the guy.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to say
second is the new 3rd.
Yeah, Dorton's when we talk about it, he's right. Second is the new 3rd. But no, there's one more that I would bat second before Pena. Who gets on base all the time?
My boy.
No.
Yeah.
No. Don't look at his on base average. I mean, on base. No.
Bregman. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Breggy. Yeah, of course.
All 4 of those options are light years better than Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
We're choosing. We're choosing a weaker hitter to bat before those guys. That irritates me to no end.
True.
Yeah, I mean, and I would feel better. And again, this is all garbage because of Dusty, and so this is fantasy land, whatever we want to call it, garbage. I'm trying to be clean here, but it does piss me off because we know what he's not gonna do. We know Dusty's not going to do these things. And so it's frustrating to talk about him because we feel like we're wasting our damn time. But obviously Altuve starts and then pick one of those 4. Pick one.
Exactly. Can I give you 4? Let me give you one thing. The number 1 answer is Jordan. He's the first answer because as Dorton stated, 2 is the new 3. Goldschmidt, Trout.
Yeah.
Ohtani. I mean, I can go. I mean, Ohtani's batted 2. I mean, I can keep going. Freddie Freeman. They all bat 2. Okay, so that should be, but that's never going to happen with Dusty. He's just not going to do it. Okay, it's fine. Chaz McCormick's on. All I care about is on base. I don't care about any other metric if you're hitting 2, because you want to get on base in front of the boppers, right? Chaz McCormick's on base percentage is 90 points higher than Jeremy Pena's. Fact. You can't. This is not a Chaz love fest. Those are facts. Kyle Tucker. You know what Kyle Tucker leads the team in? Stolen bases.
Average. Stolen bases. Probably a lot.
He does lead an average. So wouldn't you want that guy hitting more than Jeremy Pena, getting more bats? And Bregman walks more than anybody.
Yeah.
But we've beat,
yeah. I don't see
someone that we know quite well, who we do love, I guess Pena at number 2 conversation's over because of how he's performing. We're 1-3 since he's been back at number 2. That's the only stat I care about. I've given you stats. The only stat I care about is win and loss record. We're 1-3. So that tells me, is it all on Pena? Absolutely not. We're going to talk about some of that. It's not all on Pena, but if you're 1-3, change it up.
Yeah, and Dusty's not afraid to change it up. It's just not in a way that always jives with us.
Okay, so I'm asking you guys a yes or no question.
I like it. I like these.
I know you do, but this actually just came to me. Don't even have it on my cheat sheet here. 7-game series in the playoffs against the Rangers. Do we win that 7-game series? Are we better in a 7-game series of the team up north?
Not right now. No, not right now.
That's Dorton. Okay, Dorton said no. Neil?
Right now, no.
We have taken 5 out of the last 7 from them. So I'd say, yeah.
I mean, look at even the last 3 games. I mean, the 3 games were not, these weren't super. Yeah. I mean, they were not easy wins, you know. I mean, both of those wins this week were battles.
That's fair. That's fair. So, I mean, that's fair. They're a good team. I'm trying to take my Ranger hate out of this. Okay. I'm saying if you put us in October in a 7-game series right now, let's just be honest. They've added Scherzer yesterday. They added Montgomery and Stratton today. So, I mean, they're going for it. I knew they would. They're desperate. They want to win. Kudos to them for going for it. I actually have a little yes, I have respect for the fact that they're.
I hope we do.
Right. But my opinion is in a 7-game series in October, we are better than they are right now. I think we are. I think we are.
If you had asked me if we have more talent than them, I would have probably hesitated a little bit.
Well, they got issues. Evaldi was put on the IL today. Jonah Heim has a wrist issue. I think they're going to try to wait it out, and then they're going to reassess in 2 weeks to see if he needs season-ending surgery or he's going to play through the pain. That's a huge hit. Regardless, they're not going to be 100%. Now,
I disagree, Neil. You said
so. I was going to say, Brian, talent. What do you think?
You said talent. You're going to hesitate on that. I think talent. I mean, we are by far and away a more talented ball club that is not playing to their potential and hasn't been playing to their potential pretty much this whole year.
I agree with Dorton on that one.
I mean, this is pretty close to a World Series baseball team that's out there that is just not playing to the potential of their talent. My opinion.
I'm going from the aspect. Yeah, no, and that's good. I mean, I was going to ask you because I saw you kind of scoff, but I'm going from the aspect of how, I guess, majority in the first half, those guys have been playing.
Yeah, they played. They played out of their mind, and all the metrics, all the metrics showed that.
There's no doubt, but it's I mean, yes, we say it's a matter of time before they come back to their norm. But when is that? I mean,
It's happening
who's
right
to say
now.
that? Well, but who's to say that that doesn't extend all the way through this year? I mean, they just have the year of their lives. They can win. Hats off to them. They played lights out, whatever. But
Who
all
has
I'm
the
saying
computer?
is,
Who has the computer up in front of them?
yeah, I do.
I do. Yeah. What do you need?
See their record. See their record since June 1st. I don't know it. But I know it's nothing like April and May.
Play some music in the background.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not saying like it's not close on talent.
Right. Did you say the
I mean,
last
I'm-
what?
June
June
1st.
1st.
I'm curious the record since June 1st, which is a long. You're almost 2 months. 2 months tomorrow.
I'm just saying that those guys have been playing well. They're not some no-name scrub bunch,
Oh,
but I got way more confidence in us, and the fact of the matter being, you said playoffs, you said October,
absolutely. That's why I
And
asked.
we-
That's why I said it the way I did.
and we've been there and they haven't, and there's obviously the fisticuffs that almost came about in the final game. I like it. I'm all
I do
in.
too.
Like,
I wish it
bring-
would have happened.
why
I do
not?
too.
And
I don't have the exact, but they're close to 500 since.
Okay.
They're close to 500. Just looking at it. I will say this, and I even mentioned something about this to you guys, but we'll get into Maldi here in a minute. But like I've been a little bit of a Maldi apologist and semi backer for a little bit. That's done. I am over it. I'm done. Maldi can fade into the sunlight for all I care at this point. Like him not just taking one for the team when Garcia hit that home run or that grand slam the other night, him not just absolutely laying out Seaman.
That would have been incredible.
That's what he should, if he wants to be a leader, that's what he should have done right then and there. He should have Nolan Ryan'd him right back into the dugout.
And what's
then
amazing is what is
taking
Marcus
his multi-game
Simeon? What's Marcus Simeon ever won? Nothing.
Nothing.
yeah,
Absolutely nothing. And he should have taken his multi-game suspension and taken it like a man and like for the team. Because listen, we can find somebody to go bat, 127 for the next 30 games.
we
I promise
probably,
you.
we probably could have.
Promise you we
probably
could do
have
that.
swung it.
Probably could find
right.
somebody that is in the background here that could have.
Yes, Yanni. But let's talk about real quick, and then we can get back into this. Let's talk about the Astros did acquire Kendall Graveman, who they had on the roster 2 years ago for Corey Lee.
Yeah.
So my quick take is, I think Corey Lee is a average to below average major league catcher. Do I think he could improve on that? Sure. I have real question marks on his hitting. I think he's athletic. I think he'll be a good defensive catcher. I don't know if he's going to be a plus catcher. I really don't think so. So some people are freaking out saying it was an overpay. We needed bullpen help. If you're going to overpay, then pay with someone that is blocked right now, and he's blocked by Yanier. Yes, he would play next year, I'm sure, for a little while and be the backup. But I have zero problems trading him for a bullpen piece that we have for next year as well.
You bet.
I have zero problems
Fine
with
that
it
as well.
Any thoughts on anyone else got anything different
Agreed.
opinions on that?
No, I
Yeah, I mean,
zero issues with not having a Corey Lee back there anymore.
Yeah.
Zero.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was I'm fairly numb to the trade, to be honest, in the fact of I don't know just yet what Graveman's going to bring to the table. Maybe some innings,
But we chose
maybe
to pay Montero over Graven, and we let Graven walk.
sure, right. And so
Now he's back.
yes, I'm in the camp of anything good that Graveman does is a win. Watching Montero, Maton pitch today again. There's some question marks there, so it doesn't hurt us.
Well,
Like,
we
Graveman,
have him for $8 million next year, which is reasonable. We have potential free agents of Neris, Stanek, and Maton. Maton. I never can pronounce his name right.
Maton.
And I think those dudes are all free agents, I believe. So there was a method to the madness also for next year. But
Yeah.
I like Graven. I don't love him. I like him.
I
like
think
his
he
ground
adds,
ball rate.
I think he adds to the staff.
And social media. There's some people on social media that are freaking out. I'm not going to freak over a backup catcher. I'm just not going to do it.
No. Oh no. And there's no. Listen, there doesn't need to be an argument as to how we're doing in the catching position. We all know how we're doing there. And
yep,
it needs.
Let's talk about. Go ahead, Dorton. I'm sorry.
I will say this. I'm just going to respond to Dusty's Yanier struggling with left-handed batting comment, and I'm pretty sure he directed this directly at Kruger, but the fact that he gets help managing all the time and he doesn't need any more help. So I'm pretty sure that was directed directly at you.
So this is a perfect time for a shout out. I have a friend of mine. I coached his kid in select baseball, and they went to the game yesterday with, he took his kid and his dad, 3 generations of their family going to the game, and they bought really good tickets down behind the dugout. And he sent me a picture he sent me a picture of Dusty and said that, he was right there and said that he yelled that he needs to be listening to the Dome Homers podcast some more. So I'm sure that went over real well with Dusty.
Yeah.
But okay, Dorton, you made me do it. I was going to go another direction, but you made me do
perfect.
it.
No, that's perfect. Let's go.
Yeah. Here we go.
He's like Maldy's hitting because, Diaz is struggling with lefties.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Right. This is why.
But Maldy's not. Maldy
would struggle with beer league slow pitch softball team.
No. Yeah, we're good. Diaz is struggling against lefties. He's hitting around 3. He's hitting 310 against righties. 310 against righties,
which would be all-star MVP level.
Sure.
FYI, at the catching position. Yeah.
But sure. Like when you bring it down, you bet he is I guess he is struggling against lefties. He's hitting 164 against lefties, but he also doesn't play against lefties.
Correct.
Because he's struggling against them. So he's only had 55 at bats against lefties.
There's no argument. There is zero argument that can be made on the offensive side. None, right? So let me tell you where I want to go real quick. Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown has had his 2 best starts back-to-back since the beginning of the season, the last 2 starts. Who has caught Hunter Brown in both of those starts?
Yanier Diaz.
That would be correct. Diaz obviously caught Hunter Brown last year and a little bit the year before in the minors. They have a relationship. They work well together. About the 3rd or 4th inning, he threw a knuckle curve in the dirt. The guy swung and missed over the top of it. He immediately comes off the field and hits Yanier in the chest, saying like they were on the same page. They worked together. Great call. Give them props. That's the kind of stuff you want to see from 2 24-year-olds who have a relationship. that they played in the minors together. Maldi should never catch Hunter Brown ever again, or JP France, or Brandon Belak. No, I'm talking
or period.
But the pitching staff, the starters have a lower ERA, with the exception of Framber, because he's never caught Framber, which I'm perfectly okay with. He can be Framber's specialized catcher. Maldi, fine. Every other pitcher has a lower ERA, some substantial lower, when Diaz catches. You think that's coincidence? No, it's not.
Right.
Nope.
Well,
Jordan, I know, Jordan, I know you were
fired
about as fired up as you can get. Any other stats you wanted to throw out there? Because offenses doesn't even need to be a topic. I mean, the guy played one game, started one game last 4, and has 2 home runs and double because he pinch hit and hit a home run the other night.
Yeah. I mean, no, he produces when he needs to produce, and he is. The Rangers game was the game that told me all I need to know about. Maldi is out there because he's the general, he's the quarterback, he's the one that's rallying the troops. Like, here's your chance to rally the troops. And
I think it's a great point.
You're gonna let him just stomp.
He should have form tackled
him.
Simeon. He should have form tackled
right in front of you, like stomp on home plate in front of you, and just
after losing the first 2 games of the series. By the way,
jaw a little bit.
You lost the series, so you're going to do that,
right?
Form tackle him or deck him.
Yes, absolutely.
Somebody tell me again what Simeon's accomplished.
Nada.
He hit a grand slam, or no, he scored on a grand slam that Garcia hit. Pretty good.
I mean, screw that. So, like, if we're talking about catching position, if you were to say, hey, look, Maldonado has a better average against lefties than Yainer Diaz, you go, okay, his stats hitting wise are a little bit better. And if Dusty did that, if Dusty said, okay, we're going to go with more Maldonado versus lefties, I could go, well, all right, like, okay, it's not great, but I could hang in there. I mean, a little bit, but it's not like he's doing that.
Maldi's hitting 212 against lefties versus 164. Okay.
Right. But it's not like we do that. I mean, we get a right-handed pitcher and there's Maldi. So
right. So my thing is, here's my other thing. The next 3 games against Cleveland, and I'm let me pull this back up, but I'm pretty sure I saw the next 3 games are scheduled to start right-handed pitchers. So let's see. Tomorrow's the 31st. We've got all right. Snydgaard, right-handed pitcher.
Noah Syndergaard. Yep.
Syndergaard, yeah. We've got
Frenchie.
We've got Frenchie tomorrow. And then we've got
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you look at it. We're gonna. Yeah, I know where you're going with it. I bet you Yainer doesn't start both games or 2 games of the 3. I bet he doesn't.
Yeah,
he should. He start all 3, but he won't.
BB's pitching the third game. He's right-handed.
Third game, and Lytle's pitching the second. No, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No.
We'll talk about matchups. Yeah, I know where you're going with it. I know, but do you have any faith that he's going to start 2 of the 3?
None.
No chance.
No.
Absolutely none.
Oh,
no, I don't.
Not right.
It's part of the problem, but we've beat that thing up, and we should continue to. And I said it, sabotage. It's stubborn sabotage.
Gavin Williams is the right-hander on the next day.
Let's talk about what's happened outside of here and then let's talk about because Dorton asked this question earlier of what's available. So Jordan Montgomery, who I thought would be a good fit for the Astros, is traded to the Rangers with a bullpen piece, Chris Stratton, who struggled, but still the Rangers, their bullpen's horrendous, so they need help. So let's talk about that real quick. Oh, and Max Scherzer went to the Rangers. Jordan Hicks, the closer for the Cardinals, has gone to the Blue Jays. You see a theme here? All the American League teams are getting better. No.
Yep.
What are we going to do? Well, I think there's only Michael Lorenzen for the Tigers starter that's out there. And
Padres.
there is, there's one more. Let's talk about Snell and Hader real quick.
Yeah.
That's my number one choice, either if it's just Snell, then Hader, Snell and Hader. But I think
they're holding power.
I don't think
too
the Padres
close.
are selling. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to do it.
Well, this was the problem with them. This was the problem with them winning all three against the Rangers.
Yeah, I'm glad they did though. But you're right.
I mean, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
You're right.
I mean, you want them to you want them to take them down. Look, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs unless they go on like a 10-game win streak, which they could. They have the talent to, but they haven't done it all year.
So San Diego right now is 2 games below 500. The record's 52-54. They're sitting fourth place overall, 8 games out of the NL West lead, and 5 games back in the wild card. Right. So that's their position. That's their stance. So
how many teams? I think we looked at this earlier. How many teams are ahead of them in the wild card race that are not qualified for the wild card currently? Isn't it 3?
So the wild card overall,
don't they have to? They would have to jump. They would have to jump 3 teams ahead of them, and then one of the wild card teams. So technically, there's 4 teams ahead of them.
4 teams, correct?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They got to go on like a 9 or 10 game win streak. Well, that's a whole nother thing. Like, I don't know if they're going to trade Stroman and Bellinger. I mean, that's the issue with this extra wild card. So I personally don't think the Padres are going to sell Snell or Hader anymore. I don't. He shut down the Rangers today, and I was watching a little bit of it because I wanted to see how he would do, but I just don't think they're going to do it. So let's assume Snell and Hader are not getting traded. You basically have Michael Lorenzen for the Tigers, who I do think would help the Astros. I don't think he's anything massive, but there's an issue. I mean, your Urquidy got bombed today in Double-A. Now, you don't want to take rehab start results, but when I say he got bombed, he got B-Lac bombed. He got like 5 runs and 9 hits bombed in Double-A. That's a bit concerning. So, but I mean, again, if we're waiting on your Urquidy to be our difference maker, then we ain't going far. So we don't need. There's some concerns there. So there's Michael Lorenzen, and I'll say this: I don't know how I feel on this. I do know how I feel on this, but we'll get into it because it needs to be discussed. I think they're trying to get Verlander back.
I think so too. I mean,
and I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see how. I mean, even if they're going to absorb some of that salary,
let's break this down because this is what needs to be understood.
I don't see how.
So, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not worried about this year because he's prorated. The Mets will probably eat this year, right?
Yeah.
So it's $43 million on the hook for next year, which the Mets will probably have to eat some of that, and they need to eat a lot of it. And then if he throws 140 innings next year, which you're hoping he does, if you're paying him the kind of money you're paying him, he has a player vested option for $35 million in 2025, which the Mets will not pay for. They just want that they'll go big for next year.
No,
but they won't touch 2025, and I think that's the hang up. And that's part of this deal. When you give these guys these contracts and these no trade clauses and these player vested options, that's what happens. And I don't see how the Astros can commit to $35 million in 2025 when you've got Bregman and Altuve both free agents after 2024. I still
Yep.
say, and I'll take this until I hear anything different, they're going to sign one of them, probably Altuve. So there'll be money freed up, but that's a big chunk of change for guys to be like 41 years old.
Yeah.
So I think they're in talks. I think the Orioles are trying to get him. I don't know if he wants to go to Baltimore. I would be shocked if Atlanta's not talking to him. And of course, LA is talking to him. So,
Of course.
From a
So look-
Verlander standpoint, he probably prefers to go somewhere that he knows and won in the Astros. But the
I
problem
would think
is we have the least prospects and the money's an issue.
Yeah.
It can
I would
walk in and
think,
make a difference right now.
Oh, there's no doubt, and this is the troubling piece. So, all right, let me throw some numbers at you real fast. So the last 7 games, he's 4-1 with a 1.49 ERA, and that's in his last 7 games. So he's pitched 42 innings, 42.1 strikeouts in 42 innings is 37. So that's not Verlander type numbers necessarily, but it's not like his problem is his bar is so high and it's been so high that you want this unicorn to come out and be this crazy guy, right? And so if
Yeah.
it was, I mean, if this is the Randy Johnson deal, I mean, if Verlander shows up, we're going to be fired up. I mean, there's no doubt. Now,
Yeah.
the consequences of that is what is going to be debated for potentially for a long time. So, does Justin Verlander help this Astros team? Obviously, there's freaking no doubt. But does he also hurt us? Well, I don't think. I mean, I don't see too many options out there
Yeah.
that say that it doesn't hurt us.
Yeah.
Short term, yes, great. Long term, potentially handicaps where this franchise goes.
I think
and
I
that's
think it's a
that's the
situation
deal.
where it's we need to get to where we need to be this year and worry about 2025 and 2025.
Okay, that's fair. But here's the issue with
Yeah.
2024 is 2024. Now, again, these are estimates, right? So 2024, based on you've got arb raises, meaning, you go to arbitration with Tucker. That's going to be a pay raise. Fromber, pay raise. Chaz McCormick, I think it's his first one. Pay raise. Like,
should be.
There's some. Well, they are. They're going to go and get raised based on arbitration. The Astros are trying to lowball them. They're going to try to highball them. It's going to go somewhere in the middle. So those guys are getting arb raises most likely, and there's probably others. But when I looked at Baseball Reference, or that's not right, Sport Track, one of these sites, they said that we have just under $18 million available for next year. Well, guess what? And they're basing some raises coming, right? And they're basing people following books. Kendall Graveman's 8. So now you have 10.
Yeah.
So there's going to do some funny things going on. And I do think the Mets are going to eat a lot of next year. But you got to plan for a $35 million hit in 2025. That's a big hit.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to say this because I have to. I'm going to say this because I have to. He did make $66 million for 2 years pitching 6 innings.
Yeah, he did. Which you called the biggest steal
Ever.
of all time. Ever. The biggest theft of all time.
The Astros paid him $66 million for 6 innings. That's $11 million an inning over 2 years. So don't tell me that
Who
didn't
paid
sting.
for that?
Now,
Who paid for that?
well, it's worth it when you won.
It's all paid out,
It's
right?
worth it. It's worth it
Yeah,
when you win.
when you win, you kind of say, okay, worth it, totally, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's the sticking point. And not only that, you've got the Dodgers throwing prospects around. You've got as I said, here's what I think is going to add a starting pitcher. I think the Braves are going to add a guy. The Orioles have to. And if the Orioles add one, watch out.
Yep.
Dodgers. Those are the three that I think are definitely adding a starter. I could see, and then there's some names we don't know, right, that could come available. But I mean, Dorton, your point's valid. You worry about 2025 then, but whew.
Yeah.
That's a
I mean, I
big-
think, yeah, it could potentially handcuff us to a huge, I mean, to years. And
I think you have to have the Mets. You have to tell the Mets, and this is why I don't think it'll happen. I think you say, Mets, here's Jacob Meldon and a pitching prospect, because they're probably going to ask for Gilbert. You say no. They're probably going to ask for Clifford. You say no. So you say Melton and a pitching prospect, and you say Mets. You got this year, right? Yeah, we got this year. Okay. You need to eat about 30 of that next year too, right? And then the Astros have to take on whatever happens in 2025. Now I'm just throwing 30 out there. They're paying half of Scherzer, which is amazing. Yeah. I don't know if half's enough for Verlander next year. I really don't.
Would you wouldn't give away Arrighetti? You wouldn't put him in that deal, because I'm still in the back of my mind. Arrighetti, we may see him this year.
Yeah, we may have to. I don't think the Astros want to.
I don't think anybody really wants to, but
yeah,
if he's ready and he's better, and
which means Colton Gordon, who I'm not really thrilled about because he's a lefty, but I do think, all right, and it depends on how the Astros view these two guys, right? We're assuming how late we have them ranked and what we've seen. The Astros could view them completely flip-flopped. We don't know that. But based on what I've seen, I'm with, Neil, I would say Melton, Gordon, pony up some cash, big boys. Hey, Steve Cohen, pony up some cash.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna do a yes or no with you.
I like this. Okay, flip it. I like it.
All right.
I'm flipping the script. Justin Verlander gets traded. We don't know who it is. He comes to us. Right? We don't know the details of the deal. We don't know anything other than Justin Verlander is on our team. When it comes across the ticker, Justin Verlander is traded to the Houston Astros.
No further details.
I feel like I've just walked into social media and clickbait. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, right. No doubt. Yeah, this is we're driving viewers here, right?
Yep.
Happy or not?
I wish I had 4 or 2 more hands so I could give it 4 thumbs up. How about that?
I like it. Christian.
No other context whatsoever.
No details. No, it don't matter. We're just fantasy landing.
But it does matter.
4 thumbs up.
No, that's what I'm eliminating here. I'm eliminating the future. I'm saying this year.
Okay, I'm gonna answer, but then I'm gonna give a scenario. Okay, I'm gonna answer your question because you prefaced it. I'm gonna answer.
Cheating.
No, it's not.
Yes,
no, it's not.
No.
I know. I'm answering yes. Listen to me. I'm answering yes or no. I'm answering yes or no.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
Because I just saw Be-Like throw again today.
Don't.
So the answer is yes.
Don't say but.
But no buts.
Don't say but.
I said yes.
However.
Okay. If Drew Gilbert, and even more important to me, honestly, for the future is Ryan Clifford. If they're involved, I'm pissed. Yes.
Would you give up Drew? Would you give up Drew Gilbert for a 2023 World Series banner?
Yes.
Okay. Is Drew Gilbert going to help us get a 2023 banner?
No.
No, he could, because he could
But
be
because
traded.
but because we trade for Justin Verlander doesn't mean we're winning in 2023.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
say
Because
that.
if you want me to be honest,
wasn't what I said.
we need another bat because I hate our offense right now.
well, guess who loves our pitching? Other offenses right now. How about that?
Yeah.
Well,
No, your point,
Again,
Neil.
our
Yes,
offense-
yes. We're in a better spot. Yes, of course. But I honestly, I don't think it's about prospects. Really, I really don't. I don't. I think it's about the money.
It's money. It's money.
Yep.
And how much of it the Mets are going to eat versus.
Mhm. Because
I
get
think
this,
it's-
correct.
with some of the other teams I talked about, they're probably not having to eat as much money.
But also,
Yep.
it'd be pretty sweet to get Verlander back and have the Mets eat that money.
100%.
And then,
But, I mean, but-
go on to win
So,
a World Series
if you're
with the Mets spending that money on Verlander.
Uh,
for
oh,
us.
100%. But
It
so
would
so
be
let's
pretty incredible.
so real quick, and I love this that we're going off script. I love it. I really do. It's a great discussion. So, but I mean, y'all tell me if I'm missing a team but I think the Dodgers are calling on him, the Braves and the Orioles and the Astros. Do you think there's anyone else like really calling on him?
I mean, the only other ones
Okay,
that
so I'm
have
gonna
the money
throw
to
this
would
out
be the
there.
Yankees.
They're not calling on him.
I'm going to
They
throw.
more.
they have the dollars.
I'm going to throw
too.
this wild card at you.
Okay.
I'm going to throw this wild card at you. Okay, y'all think about this for a second. Are the Angels going to trade Shohei Ohtani?
No way.
No, they don't have the balls to.
No chance.
No, and they picked
So
up
why wouldn't
Giolito.
you?
They picked up Lucas Giolito. That tells me
I'm
all
not-
that. No.
Right. But why not? Why not go for more? If I'm the Angels,
I see, yeah.
I'm saying
Mm.
I'm not done. Hey, we're only 4 games behind the Astros, 5 games behind the Rangers. Hey, who's to say that they're not? I mean, who's to say they're done?
Oh, no,
'Cause
that's
they're,
fair.
They're about
because-
to have to they're about to have to pay.
Gut it. Yeah, and
Well,
So-
Neil,
They
to
want to
Neil's
keep
point,
old boy.
I could see them totally doing that, but they're not re-signing him. They're not. He's not going to
No,
re-sign there.
no, and I don't think they're re-signing Shohei, but that's my point.
No, I
like
don't
they're
either.
saying, hey, look, we're about to lose on Shohei. We're not going to trade him. So we dipped our toe with Giolito, but who's to say that they're not going to take another stab at somebody?
No, I
and
think it's a,
it may
I think
not
it's a
be a
great
good
point.
That's fair.
I
I
think
mean,
it's a
they're
great
not out
point.
of
I
this.
just-
They're not out
No.
of this at all.
If you're Justin Verlander, you have full no trade clause, just like Scherzer does. So
You're not going
Let's
to the
just-
Angels.
no, I don't think you are either. I
Does,
mean,
Unless old
does
girl-
he
unless
go to
old girl wants to go to-
Baltimore? I can see.
I
can see
could,
him in Baltimore.
but I could also see him saying, "Man, I don't know if they're ready. Like I don't know if they're October ready. Like they scare me."
But
I'm
keep
gonna
in
tell you
mind,
this. I think the Orioles are the next Astros. I think the Orioles are the next Astros.
that's what,
I really do.
and that's why I'm saying he's looking at this as I'll finish off this year in Baltimore. We'll see what we can do, and then I got
Sure.
potentially 2 more years with this bunch.
That's fair. That's absolutely
and
valid.
so
But would you rather?
I can-
would
I
you
can
put
see
the
that.
Orioles ahead of the Astros? Would you put on his wish list of those 4? Would you put the Orioles ahead of the Astros?
but it's not in his control. I mean, I guess it is.
Yes, it is in
I mean,
his
if
control.
if he gets the choice of saying like, okay, but I'm saying like, if there's a deal on the table with Baltimore, but there's not one with Houston, what's he going to do? Is he going to stay in Baltimore or New York?
Well, look. I don't have any insider knowledge other than tea leaves that I'm reading.
Sure,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
I think all 4 of those teams are calling the Mets. I mean, I'm pretty confident in all that. So let's assume.
Right.
But you're right. Let's assume those 4 are. Okay. Let's assume those 4 teams are. Where do you? I mean, if I'm Justin Verlander, I don't have the Orioles ahead of the Astros. I don't. on my wish list.
No, I agree. I agree. I 100% agree. If there's two,
Well, that's
if
my
there's
question:
two,
is where do you have the Astros on that wish list? If you're him, not us, him.
oh no, if it's him, I think it's Astros. I think there's familiarity. I think I mean, if he can go, he knows the Astros. If he goes to that team, he knows what those guys are capable of, and he knows that there's a solid chance of a good
Well,
playoff run and potentially a World Series this year. If he's looking at Baltimore and says, "Man, I don't know if they're ready just yet, but man, the next 2 years that could be good." Does he want to go to Baltimore to win a World Series? I don't know. I mean, like you said, we don't have that. We don't have Justin Verlander on speed dial. I'm just saying, if he says no to Baltimore, then does that help Houston? Like that's my angle. Like Baltimore may be able to offer more than Houston, prospect wise, better deal wise, and he says no, make something work with the Astros. That would be badass because the Mets are sitting there. They've dumped. They're done. They're not going forward. They got rid of Scherzer. Why would they keep Verlander? I think they
agree.
want to get rid of. I think they want to get rid of him.
They do.
And so,
But the issue with the Dodgers and Braves is they have to play each other. So if you go to one, you're going to have to play the other.
Yeah.
I think the Astros will be number one on his list. The problem is the Astros have the biggest money constraints.
there's no doubt. And I think you and I talked about this off the air, and that's what it comes down to: is they may have to eat more contract, and we may have to provide a little bit more bodies.
Okay? I'm going to flip it on you.
Okay.
Remember, just because we get them don't mean we're winning anything.
Absolutely not.
If Clifford or Gilbert are in the deal, are you doing it?
Brian, you're going to have to edit that out. this
No
long
chance.
pause.
This is staying in. No, this is staying in.
So for reference point, for context, the Rangers gave up their number 3 prospect, Ronald Acuna's brother, for Scherzer.
I'm going to save you, Neil. The real question is, if not Verlander, then who?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Michael Lorenzen?
I mean,
Sure. I mean, right now, if we need pitching, you're talking about we need a bat, but we need
No, I know. I
now.
joke because of our offense.
Okay.
Yes, I'm with you. Our starting pitching is what we need. 100%.
We have to have a pitcher. Period.
Which, by the way, Dana Brown said it before the game. We are going after more relief pitching. We are not in the market for starting pitching. That's got to be a smokescreen. Has to be.
That can't be logical, right?
No, that has to be a smokescreen. He said it. I heard it. Listen to it.
So
has to be a smokescreen.
So as far as Michael Lorenzen
you haven't answered
goes,
the question yet, though, Neil.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably say yes, and that hurts.
You would do it.
That probably it hurts.
Well, if it hurts, that means
it's
I would
a good
say
deal.
yes if there is no other option. None other.
You want me to? You want me to? I don't know what I would say, but I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to be documented, obviously, because we get all these on their cloud. I would trade Gilbert. I would trade Gilbert before Clifford. I think Clifford's ceiling. Well, it's a gamble, right? Just like anything.
Sure.
Gilbert's floor is higher. I think his floor is higher. Clifford's ceiling is higher. And I would rather bet on the 20-year-old that's got 2-3 more years of minor league development and say, I mean, if I had to make the choice, which I'm not saying I would, by the way, but if I
Yeah,
had to
no,
make the
it's hard.
choice, well, that probably means it's a good trade if you're having to think about it, honestly. You know what I mean? But that probably means I would probably keep Clifford and trade Gilbert just because of the ceiling. But that's just me. And honestly,
I'm going to say this too. I said,
go ahead.
go ahead. I'll let
No,
you
no,
finish.
go,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, you go.
I was
I
just
was
saying
just
that
going to
because of
say,
the ceiling.
I think there is. Yeah, and I would. I should have preferenced this. My gut tells me there is like a 5.5% chance that this trade even happens.
Yeah,
Like
I think the
I
money's the
just
issue. I agree with that.
I just don't think it's going to. It just doesn't seem like it's realistic. And
I think there's a 12% chance.
Dorton probably says 6.5.
Well, Passon, ESPN's Passon calls it possible. So I'm going to go with 0% because old boy is 1% right.
Yeah, I just don't feel like. I mean, and it's fun to talk about this, and it's entertaining and all that kind of stuff. I want to make sure that we all now. If Tuesday that goes down, we're releasing a podcast Tuesday night talking about.
Oh,
this.
absolutely.
That's great. That would be great.
And I mean, we're bragging about how we called it and all that kind of stuff.
I think
bragging about how
I think they're going to.
He didn't get traded.
I think there's a much.
Yeah.
I think it's highly more likely that Lorenzen's the guy. The problem is the Braves, Orioles, and Dodgers are using that same guy as a backup plan. So I don't know. They need somebody because I'm not encouraged with your Urquidy today. And look, we could talk about this topic all night.
Yeah, we probably need to move on.
Yeah, we do because we could talk about it. And I mean, it's great. That's why it makes it such a great discussion. But all right, let's shift gears. And I'm looking at our lovely Irishman.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to him first. And I'm going to move on to the Dome Foam Player of the Week. For Mr. Dorton.
Yeah, Dome Foam Player of the Week this week is pretty easy for me. And it's probably taking a little bit of food out of your mouth. And that's going to be Mr. Chas McCormick. Stepped up.
Dang it.
Had a great week. Just like Chas is the man and showed he was the man, showed that he needs to be playing every day. He needs to be out there. He needs to be in the lineup. He needs to be batting closer to the top of the lineup. And he showed that this week. So Chas McCormick, we're going to go have a beer.
Yeah, that's a great one. He was going to be mine for the rest of the week, rest of the year, even if he went over 20. But there is a distinct possibility. So there's a distinct possibility that if he gets a hit or two tomorrow, he's going to be the AL Player of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think yesterday he passed Tucker because I think it was between him and Tucker. I really do.
Yeah, they're neck and neck on this deal.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins the AL Player of the Month, whatever. I don't even know what to say. That's a good one, Dorton. Neil, who do you got?
I'm going to go a little, I guess, off. But I'm and this guy's not any stranger to getting a Dome Foam. But I'm going Yanner. I'm going Yanner. Okay. Yeah.
When he plays?
I mean, when he plays, he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Did he hit 3 this week or 2?
This guy?
He played against.
Yeah.
Okay, so he played yesterday. Goes 2 for 5.
Hit a bomb
He
to
gets
right
one
center.
at bat. Yes, but you don't see that very often, by the way, where he hit. He batted one time in the first game, and then played in 3 of the games against Texas, and he does fine. 1 for 3, 1 for 4, but every chance I get to potentially get to Dusty Baker in this aspect, I'm going to do it. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, whether it's the podcast
Or Twitter.
or Twitter. The Dome Foamers are A+ #1 fans of Yonner Diaz, and so I'm going Yonner Diaz Dome Foamer. I don't care what his stats are. I don't care if it's lefty. I don't care if it's righty. I don't care who's pitching. Play him. There's my Dome Foam.
Okay, well, thank you guys. You took my 2 that I was going to use.
Yep.
And 2 of my favorites. I've got a couple other favorites, but those 2 guys. Chaz has been playing every day because he made it so impossible to put him on the bench, and Jake Myers has been so awful at the plate that it's almost been a no-brainer. Which I don't understand why that logic isn't for Maldi and John Air to Norton beef tonight, which he's 100% on top of. But I'm going to go different. And y'all took my 2. As much as I loathe one of our starters, the other one I'm going to give props to. You know what? I'm doing a combo. I'm doing JP Frenchie, and
Yep.
I'm doing Hunter Brown.
Yep.
Hunter Brown had his 2 best starts of the year since the beginning of the season. Diaz caught both of those, by the way. JP France
Yes,
has
he did.
pitched really well, and Belak has not. And we hadn't even touched on pitching, so I'm going to give a Dome Foamer real quick to Hunter Brown and JP France, because if you told me right now, seriously, like right now, who our best pitcher is over the last 2 months, it's JP France.
JP
Yeah.
France. There's no
Like it or
doubt.
not.
JP
And-
France.
Frenchie
Yeah, it is.
our best
Consistent.
pitcher right now.
Yes, he is. And then Hunter Brown gave me a lot of confidence this week the way he threw. And look, so I'm going to transition real quick out of that because they get mine. Everyone wants to bash Abreu for the error, which was terrible. Terrible.
It was really bad.
It was really bad. However, you cannot start a game walk, single, ever. You cannot. If Abreu botches that and there's 1 runner on or nobody on, oh man, bad play, move on. But
Yep.
he put a walk, and a single on. And I don't have this in front of me, but I think this is the 3rd straight game he's walked the leadoff guy to start the game. That's unacceptable. That guy needs to be
Right.
bagging groceries. And I know what his ERA is. I don't care. He's getting bailed out by errors, not putting earned runs on him. I'm over him. I'm over him. Okay. Enough about that.
Real quick for
Yeah,
all
go
of
ahead.
the for any haters that are saying, well, the past 7 days, Maldi hit 267 and Diaz hit 250. I'm going to say this. Maldi struck out 7 times. Diaz had 7 RBIs.
Boom.
Okay.
Boom.
Do you have it in
Done.
front of you? Do you have it in front of you?
Right here.
Give me slugging percentage.
Slugging was 533 versus 688 Diaz. 688.
Not terrible, but
Not
definitely big time
terrible.
difference.
It wasn't OPS 800 Maldi, Diaz 923. Both 15. I mean, Maldi had 15 at bats. Diaz had 16. So Diaz had more at bats this week. So yeah. Maldi had a higher batting average this week.
I don't
but
care.
Don't
7
give 2 craps.
No.
RBIs.
Yeah.
7 RBIs. I'm sorry, he produced.
But it's
He
also
produced.
the ERAs of the pitcher, who the catcher is matters. The defensive runs allowed, to lead the league in pass balls. Your the offensive arguments are great, but the defensive arguments are even better because he's a coach on the field.
Yeah, no, I'm done with this. Done with that. You could have
Okay.
been
Yep.
a coach last week.
Yep.
Thank you for that. So I normally do prospect of the week. I'm not due to time, but also because we talked about prospects in our trades.
Yeah.
I will touch on that next week, and hopefully we've made a move, and we talk about the costs going back and where we stand from an organizational standpoint. So we're going to move on to the throwback player of the week that's done by Neil. But our throwback player of the week is sponsored by Victoria Equipment Auction. And so thank them for that. And at Victoria Equipment Auction, their number one goal is to get you the best price for your equipment in a hassle-free professional manner. Whether you are part of a large corporation looking to clear old equipment out of your inventory, or an individual interested in selling a single piece, Victoria Equipment Auction is ready to go to work for you. Just drop off the equipment and we'll take care of the rest. This is tractors, trailers, side-by-sides, ATVs. We obviously have a relationship with these guys. We've known some of them for a long time. Call Clay at 361-935-2444 or go on victoriaequipmentauction.com. They have an auction on August 12th. They've been posting that on social media. So please, if you have any questions, contact those guys. You can contact me and give you the information. But those guys do a great job. They'll do a great job for you. And I am actually going to go down to the auction in a couple Saturdays. So Neil, with our sponsorship for the throwback player out there, what do you got?
So this week's throwback player of the week, he's not an oldie. He's a relatively new one. New as in within the last couple of years, but you'll see the tie-in here shortly. But I'm going with Abraham Toro.
Oh.
So I'm going to
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, right. Just a couple years ago, right? So I'm going to throw this. I'm going to throw this at you. What does Abraham Toro and Corey Lee, and I'm telling you, Dorton, because I think Christian and I have already visited on this. What does Abraham Toro and Corey Lee have in common?
I haven't got a clue. Zero clue.
Okay, can I
No.
answer, but not the right? No, hold on. Listen, I know. That's not. I didn't say the right answer first. Remember when we talked about this? So I'm not going to steal that thunder because this is yours.
I don't.
My answer was, besides they both suck. Is that not what I said?
He did say that. He did
Irrelevance
say that. Those were his exact words.
Irrelevance. That's perfect.
Irrelevance. Is that a good one?
So Corey Lee, the catcher.
My
cut.
that we
answer
just-
was though. Besides they both suck. What is it?
So Corey Lee and Abraham Toro were both traded for Kendall Graveman.
Kendall Graveman. Yep.
I can't believe I didn't know that. I
Right?
can't believe it.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
You didn't see that coming. So I'm Abraham Toro has made the podcast because of Kendall Graveman this week.
Okay. All right. That's
So-
I
good.
have to say this. I did not think our
So-
throwback player was ever going to be Abraham Toro.
I didn't either.
Neither
That's
did neither did I. Neither did I. Right.
awesome.
So Abraham. So he goes by.
Please don't go over
Abraham
his
Josue
stats.
Toro,
Yeah.
born in. Trust me, there's not a lot to go over. December 20th, 1996. So the year we graduated, he was born, and he was born
Go
in
big bold,
Canada.
gold, big blue,
He-
big bold blue, and
Yeah.
shout out to them in the end. But go ahead.
So he was born in Canada. He went to high school in Canada, goes to Vanier College in Montreal, and then transfers to Seminole State College in Seminole, Oklahoma for a year, and he absolutely rakes.
He's
So
an
he ends up
Oklahoma
being-
Canadian?
Yes,
Oh,
he transfers to Oklahoma and
fantastic.
tears it up there. and ends up he gets drafted after that year in Oklahoma in 2016, and so eventually gets called up to the on August 22nd. He gets called up to the Astros, makes his major league debut versus versus. And to be honest, looking at his stats in the minor leagues, he did well. And
A lot of them do.
He gets called up. Yes, right. And this is why, again, trading prospects is always a roll of the dice, right? So he makes his major league debut against the Detroit Tigers and goes 0 for 4, typical. So on September 1st, Toro, in his second game ever, he plays in Canada, right? So we were playing against the Montreal, the Toronto Blue Jays. And this is the game where his second game ever in professional baseball, it turns out to be Justin Verlander's no-hitter.
His highlight of his career.
I remember the game. There's no doubt, right? There's no doubt. Yeah. So this happens on September 1st. Toro plays third base. It's 0-0. So Verlander's throwing a no-hitter, and we go into the ninth inning, and it's 0-0. He hits a 2-run bomb to go up 2-0. And then, so we're up. So Toronto comes up in the last inning. He makes a phenomenal play to seal Verlander's no-hitter. And I think we probably all remember a little bit of Verlander talking about Toro and the plays that he made to end the game and the home run. And so phenomenal moment, all that kind of stuff. So in his second game as an Astro, Abraham Toro makes his mark, right? So we go to COVID year. That was 99. We go to COVID year 2020. So then we get into 2021, and the Astros ended up trading Toro along with relief pitcher Joe Smith, which we all obviously, we hated that. Sarcasm. Yeah. To the Mariners for 2 relief pitchers, Rafael Montero and Kendall Graveman.
Right.
So that's that in itself is a whole nother topic. So this is the crazy part, which I remember now once I dug into this. But so they traded them while they were playing each other.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So the two teams were in a series. Toro's informed as he's taking batting practice for Houston. So he's told, hey, homie, you're not with us anymore.
Yeah.
So he goes over to Seattle's dugout, in a uniform, right?
Hey, guys.
And continues to warm up. Yeah, hey, I'm over here.
Welcome to professional baseball.
So, yeah, right. So he goes over there, continues to warm up, but now in a Seattle Mariners uniform. So in the ninth inning of that night game, he's put in as a pinch hitter. And of course, what does he do? He hits a 2-run home run off of Ryan Presley. So that made him the first player in MLB history to homer for a team, and then against the same team in consecutive games, because the night before he hits a home run against Seattle. The next night he hits a home run against Houston.
Or Seattle.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Seattle.
The rabbit holes you go down in this thing are amazing.
In 2023, he is 8 for 18 with 2 jacks.
Yes.
Did I steal your thunder?
No,
sorry.
I'll get to his little whatever. So, game 1, he hits this 2-run homer. So he hits a home run for the Astros on one night. The next night he hits a home run against the Astros.
Yeah.
The next day he homers again, which turned out to be his 4th straight game that he hits a home run. So crazy. On August 31st, 2021, the Mariners again are facing the Astros. Toro actually comes to bat against Graveman in the 8th inning of a game that's tied at 0-0. So 8th inning, 0-0, bases loaded. and he hits a 413-foot home run to
No,
right
I don't remember
for
that.
his first career grand slam
That's incredible. Against Graveman.
against the guy that he was traded for. So yes. So since then he finished out that year in Seattle, spent last year in Seattle, and then this past year he is in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And has spent a lot of time in the minors. And like you said, he's had just a handful of at bats, not lighting the world on fire.
Yeah.
But
a quarter of his
Abraham
at bats
Toro,
have been home runs.
I mean,
Yeah.
Abraham Toro is he just became relevant again because we got Graveman, and so
That's awesome.
we gave up Corey Lee for Graveman, and we gave up Abraham Toro again for Graveman. So
A couple of things.
And not to be lost in that mix, Rafael Montero. So
Yeah, couple of things.
I'm good.
That's
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
longest conversation I thought I'd ever have about Abraham Toro. Number one. Number two, I have a friend here in New Braunfels where I reside who swore to me that Abraham Toro was going to be a good to better than good major league player. And I looked at him like he had three heads. He's going to listen to this and he's going to know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to leave that out there. Number three, so there used to be a guy on Major League Network by the name of Casey Stern. Casey Stern now has gone independent. I think he was on Sirius, the Major League Network show on Sirius Network that I haven't, I drive around my car. He's one of my favorites. He's very opinionated. He's a huge Mets fan, by the way. But he coined the phrase, prospects are cool, parades are cooler. And as a guy who obviously follows prospects, pretty heavily more than most, I've always thought that, that hits the nail on the head. So I'm going to tag Casey Stern on Twitter on this, and I'm going to tell him that we referenced his quote because that is so true. And that's something that always needs to be put in perspective. The problem is so many prospects get traded and the parades never happen. So the Astros are fortunate that two parades have happened. And that's really what it's all about. So good stuff, Neil. I had no idea that you were going to go Abraham Toro. Let's wrap it up with predictions. So we have 3 at home versus Cleveland, 4 on the road at the Evil Empire. So who should I go with first? Neil, I'm going to you first. Predictions for the week.
Great. Oh, okay. And I don't know why you do this. Come to me first because I've always got questions, right? And I'm always a matchup guy. So
really, I know. I'm being sarcastic.
I know. Yeah. So let me pull up the matchups that we have against the Guardians. So we got 3 games against the Guardians. And again, like Brian talked about, they're all right-handers. So we should see Diaz in all 3, right?
All 3 games, Diaz should be playing.
Diaz hits better. Yeah.
I love that Dorton brought that up.
So we got Noah
Syndergaard. That Dusty said that, though.
Yeah. Noah Syndergaard, who's popping a 7.16 ERA versus JP France. I like her chances. Fromber's going to pitch against Williams in the second game. So Gavin Williams, another right-hander. I like her chances. So there's a win. Let's see here. Come on, internet. Come on, Giddings internet. And Williams' ERA is 3.35 versus Fromber's 3.29. So if Fromber can keep his head on straight, which again, that's a whole nother topic. Wednesday, we haven't announced the starter. So
I was trying to think of the rotation.
In
Javier after Fromber?
Yeah, it should be Javier.
I saw it's Javier.
Well, it could be Verlander. It could be
Verlander. Or we keep Verlander for game 1 of the Evil Empire.
Verlander. So just so everyone knows,
he pitched
if by
today.
The grace of God that happens, Verlander threw today. Correct.
Yeah.
That's so
Uh,
stupid. Y'all so stupid.
So Saturday. So
no,
game
just,
two
I
or the game three of the Evil
I
Empire.
bait y'all every chance I get. So,
BB's talented. BB's tough. Like BB's a guy that could give us fits, or we could score 17 runs off of him. I mean, who knows?
you know what?
Said
I'm
the same
tired
thing
of
about
y'all.
Javier.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm tired of y'all saying I float around. So I'm saying we sweep the Guardians. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
That's what
then
I'm talking about.
we go to New York where we know we're in those domes.
7-0? You say 7-0?
Man,
Oh, do the first 7-0 on this
I
thing.
can't
Do it.
that.
Sweep?
I'm going to say 6-1. I mean, again, I got to get to 95 wins. I got to get to 95 wins, boys.
Verlander goes back to New York and helps sweep in New York. Oh,
Well,
6-1.
It may be too much.
All right, Mieski's on record 6-1.
It may be too much Wild Turkey 101 flowing through me, but I'm going 6-1. I feel like this is the week we pull something off. Dana Brown earns his money. We pull something off and we get a little life in us.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I'm going.
I love it. I love it. I hope you're right too.
Boys, I'm going 5-2. We'll take 2 of 3.
Wow, look at positive and positive. Like
2 and 3.
What is going on here?
3-1 at the Evil Empire. So we're 5-2.
Okay, Neil. You always have the computer open. Who do the team up north play this week? Because I already have my prediction. I already have my prediction, and it's nothing. Yeah,
Is it contingent upon who the team up north plays?
No. I'm just curious where we stand at the end of the week. Possibly, I think we're going 5-2. I think we lose a game to the Guardians, and I think we go 3-1 in New York and bury them out of the wild card. I think they're done. I'm not. That's not. I'm usually the predictions. I'm the most optimistic. So you guys being optimistic scares me to death. But
yeah, me too.
White Sox. Yeah,
they play the White Sox in a 3-gamer.
Yeah,
I got them playing the Rays.
No, they play the White Sox. They're off.
July 31st.
It's August, buddy.
July 31st. That's tomorrow. The Yankees play the Rays.
I wasn't talking about the Yankees. I was talking about the Rangers.
Oh, I thought you were talking. You said the Evil Empire. I still refer to them as the Yankees. Who were you talking about? The team up north?
Yeah, they play the White Sox, and then I'll do this since Neil just.
I thought you said the damn.
And the Marlins.
I looked them up.
Marlins at home. Yeah, so there could be a chance where we're tied. They have Monday off, so yeah, it's gonna be close. I think we go 5-2. I think we lose a game to the Indians, and I think we win 3 out of 4 in New York and bury the Yankees out of the wild card. I really do. And by the way, I'm not trying. We need to start looking at wild card scenarios too, because whoever does not win the AOS better be concerned about making the wild card.
Yeah,
and I hope that's the team up north. But that's what I think 5-2, and you know, I think we get our feet underneath us. I think we score more runs, hoping the pitching holds up. But we need to not have Jose Ramirez kill us. It seems like every time we play the Guardians, we pitch to Jose Ramirez in stupid situations, and the guy's a phenomenal hitter. Like he is. I'm not saying he's one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite hitters to watch. That guy can mash a baseball. And
he seems to show up at the wrong time for us.
Yeah, and we pitch to him at the wrong times too. So take him out of the equation, and then I think we do well. And then that'll be a great time in New York. That'll be fun to watch all that. But anybody got anything else before we wrap it up?
Nope.
I want to shout out to all the Texas high school coaches.
I was gonna
Man,
go there.
there's a
You
lot
stole
of
my
them that
thunder,
start-
man.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, like tomorrow morning, my alarm goes off at 4:30, and we're rocking and rolling. You know, it's that time of the year where football is kicking in, and I just wish everybody luck and stay out of the heat as much as you can, because it's only 150 degrees out there on some turf. So we're rocking and rolling here in Giddings, Texas, from 6:30 to 9:30, and hopefully get out of there before it gets too bad.
6:30
So,
a.m.
Wanted to shout out to those.
6:30
a.m.
a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
in the morning?
I mean, I'll be a little. Yeah, yeah. The rooster. I mean, I'll wake the rooster up tomorrow.
Yeah, we moved
So-
this podcast up a little earlier today for recording purposes. So, because Neil gets cranked up tomorrow. So, I was going to shout out to the Getting Buffaloes. I got to meet some of the guys that work with Neil, great bunch of guys. Well, some of them. There's a couple of them that a little sketchy, and they know who they are. But go Giddings Buffaloes this year. We have a connection to Coach Boyce, who we all grew up with at Victoria West Warriors. Go Warriors. I know he listens every week. And I'm going to be down in Victoria on Tuesday, meeting with VISD. So go Warriors. I want to say this, go Flyers. We just saw that we were in their quarterly or summer or monthly magazine, our podcast, the Dome Foamer. So that was cool, as all former alums. So go Flyers. Hopefully we can bounce back, and we need to bring some of the mojo that we had in the 90s back to the Flyers, no doubt.
I got another
all the
loyal
coaches-
listener. I got another
Oh,
loyal
go ahead.
listener. Thorndale Bulldogs.
Mm,
Go Thorndale Bulldogs.
Wow.
Thorndale. Wow.
Love it. I love it. Well, it's going to be fun to follow. You know, there's high school footballs. It's
I love
incredible.
it.
So
I
I'm
can't wait.
ready for being cranked up.
I can't wait.
Dorton, you're in Pearland.
I'm glad that I don't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, but
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
really happy. But I'm really happy it's getting started up.
Me too.
Go,
Oh, wait.
go Unicorns.
thank you,
Fear the
boys,
horn
for
here
the
in New
service.
Braunfels, Texas. No doubt. That's all we got. And please like, share, rate, review, rate and review, rate and review. We love getting feedback back. And so with that being said, excuse me, boys, go Stros.
Go Stros.
Go Stros.